Well, what do you do with that? It was so nice for the entire last chapter in Luke. He'd taken us into this room where they keep the lost and found box. Get the lost sheep, the lost coin, the lost son. And then he takes us out of that room and puts us here, the dishonest steward. What Robert Farrar Capon calls the hardest parable. Yeah, you got that one right. But let's take on the challenge. Let's look at the manager. He's not exactly Robin Hood, but in a certain reading, the servant is looking pretty noble by the end. He reduces their debts, cutting some of them in half. You might even call him the first debt reduction specialist. Or is he really just a crook, thinking of his own self-interest and possibly revenge against his own master who's about to fire him? Yet we could also say, oh, what a Christian thing he did there. Yet all the while we still see his crookedness. He doesn't perfectly fit our mold of the righteous one, a child of the light, a good guy. Yet, at the end, he's lauded for what he does. What of that? Grace is given by and to the least expected characters in this parable. Last night, as I was taking a break from working on this, I was thumbing through Facebook and came across a post by a friend. She, just like most of us, are struggling to address the inner anguish that we feel from the last few days and even the last 2 years of this election cycle. But I found it quite moving. This is what she wrote. People have an innate need to believe they are good. It's a prerequisite to making any kind of positive change. Every single Hillary voter and every single Trump voter and every single third-party voter believes he or she to be a good person. Name-calling does absolutely nothing to change minds. We have to find the good in people, find the good in their intentions, acknowledge their validity. That's the only way to open hearts. I would suggest that it's probably need to include opening our own hearts, even though it's hard. In the coming days, weeks, months, years, we will leave this mountain and go out to the world. We will not be able to hide in the safety of our sanctuary. We will not be able to hold up in our offices surrounded by the comfort of our books. We will have to get out there. We have to engage in our communities, engage with our families, friends, neighbors, enemies. We have to become part of society. Along the way, we might meet many people who don't fit our category of the righteous, of the light. We may even meet some downright dishonest crooks. But I would challenge us to look for the grace in the unexpected persons and places. Make yourself aware of those little graces, those good deeds, those Christ-like actions, those Christ-like moments that may pop up in the shadow and around the corner, everywhere, in all persons. When you find it, acknowledge it, praise it, name it for what it is, and learn to imitate the good that you see. Fred Danker suggests that this parable is an illustration of Luke 6:30 through 36. Now that's all about radical giving. But if we look closely, there's this little nod to God rewarding even those that don't fit our happy little mold. Beginning in verse 35, it says, "But love your enemies, do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be called children of the Most High." And here's the kicker. This is the part I think we skip over. "For he is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful." He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Seek Christ in all persons. Love without cause. Even those many times where somebody may give you cause not to love. Look for the little glimmer of grace everywhere. You might just be surprised where you find it.